So here we are on the banks. It's probably about 22 degrees at the moment. First week of August just about to end. Swan Valley in Yateley. It's the last year of it being a syndicate. It's my first year on here as well. So I kind of had a year to fill my boots, catch some of the ones I wanted. But in all honesty, perhaps I wanted a 40. That was what I came here for. Yateley 40, absolutely big target. And then anything else really a bonus. So let's go back to the start, talk about how things have gone so far. I started in April, got here down to my first session. It was really busy. Sort of slotted in next to my friend there. There was loads of fish topping everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't. I got here at dark and I couldn't sleep. There was just that much action. I woke up in the morning and sort of located largely where they were. The swim was taken. Took a walk over, had a chat with the fella in there, and he was leaving. So in I popped. A few hours later, had my first one. 26 pounds odd, I think. Lovely linear, really sort of sloped head on it, beautiful fish. I was really made up to get sort of started first session. That's alright, carry on. First one from Swan Valley, Yateley. First Yateley carp actually. Not fished down here before. Less than 24 hours. Had a bite, and I think it's one of the ones I wanted. I think it's called the muggling. Happy as, happy as. Then I lost one in the night, that same night, over quite a bed of bait. I thought I'm going to use a lot of bait here, I'm going to use a lot of boilies. I lost one. Then I came back down probably a week later, maybe not even that, and I came in the swim I'm in now actually, Island 1. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to give them some grub. I'm going to give them pretty much what I've got left in my bag, which was about 4 kilos of boilies. So I spread that over the area, a couple of citrus pop-ups over it, and another sort of single out there. 10 o'clock and then it absolutely wazed off. Fish going, taking line, played it, couldn't believe it when it got in the net. A big 40, definitely. Turned out it was about 43 pounds. So yeah, absolutely made up. Couldn't believe it. Second fish that I'd landed, third take, second session, had my 40 that I came for. The second fish you land from a new lake looks more like a monster. Lumpies, mate. First fish, second fish, Swan Valley, lumpies, mate. We are rocking.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that's...
Mate, the size of me, you could fit me in the mouth.
40. Oh, yes. Jesus.
Look at that, that is definitely... Oh my God.
That's definitely it.
Oh my God.
Oh, mate.
Looks way bigger.
Look at that, nailed as well. Absolutely banged on the long shank. Can you get in close on that? Yep. There we go, banged on the long shank. Look at that. 42 and a touch.
Yeah?
Call it 42.
Yeah.
Yes, my friend.
Banging, brother.
Thank you,
Yes,
boys.
bro.
Oh yeah. Yes, bro. £42.
That's the first time I've ever seen a fish that size on the
Is
back.
it?
Yeah, that's the first ever time, and hopefully I catch one like it too.
You just yeah, that's good. Perfect. You will, mate. The
The head on that fish is massive in the back. What a beautiful morning to have her as well.
probably again another week later, I've turned up, found some fish. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sort of cast out whilst I set myself up. So I cast out, put a few boilies around it, and even put my rods on the alarms. Off it's gone again. Couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on with this pond? Played it in, big bed of weeds, so I had to sort of get out in the waders, pop the net underneath it, scooped the ball of weed, peeled back, pitch black mirror, just amazing, mid-30s, black as your hat. I was just like, wow, what a start. Then I had probably 2 blank nights after that, back down to earth with a bang. Then they started to spawn, so it was sort of off for a couple of weeks. Also I had an event up at Horseshoe, so it all just coincided that it turned out to sort of 4 weekends missed, which wasn't great, but it was just timing. So then I got back down for a night, and I decided to do my first night in the match lake over behind me, and I sort of, everyone else is using bait boats, and I thought, you know what, I don't need it. I made quite a lot of casts to get as close as I could to the tree. I clipped it a couple of times, and then eventually I got it sort of spot on. It turned out that was a good move, because at about 12 at night I had a take, felt like a really good fish, weeded me up exceptionally heavily. I just couldn't budge it. Eventually the hooks pulled, such is life. So then I sort of waited till first light. It was probably about 4:30, managed to get the rod out, good few handfuls of boilies again, feeding on the bottom this time, with a bottom bait to sort of match what I was feeding. 9 o'clock, off it's gone. Stood up this time, straight back, pulled it up, lifted it above all the weed beds. Oh yeah, we got it. got it in the front of me, I could see it was a big fish. It was thrashing left, it was thrashing right. Luckily a guy was walking his dog, he came down, said, "Oh, do you need a hand?" Go on then, mate. So luckily he sort of netted it for me. And then another fella turned up who was fishing, took some cracking pictures, turned out to be a £40 12. I just literally at that point, I was like, wow, for the takes that I've had and the ratio of fish, absolutely amazing. Here we are again, and we've got another absolute chunk of a mirror, over £40. Just about to actually give her an official weigh in. Get some photos. Proper riddler. What a whacker.
Good fish, mate.
That
Just
is
on 40.
£40 8.
£40 8.
Love it.
Banging, brother, another one.
Pack that fish.
There we go. Second 40 from the pond. Then they started to spawn again at the weekend, so then I missed it. So that was another couple of weekends off. I got back down in July time, got a bit of bait out. Then last weekend I did 2 nights, put 5 kilo of sort of chopped scopex out, and on the second morning I had a £20 mirror. That brings us up to today.
I did manage quite a few, nothing over £30 though, surprisingly. Probably because they'd spawned a good couple of times by sort of July, and really let it out of them. So yeah, I did manage quite a few nice ones, commons, mirrors, as you would expect, including this lovely long lean common here. I think this was part of 2 fish caught in the morning, but as always, sort of by end of August I'm back in work, and I'm fishing kind of doesn't take a back seat, but it just becomes more difficult to put any sessions together or sort of pre-baiting or anything like that, so it's more a case of just turning up, seeing what's there. So yeah, this was probably, I'm thinking this was maybe September time now. This lovely upper I think it was £29, really funny shaped thing, actually really tricky to hold as well, but lovely carp, sort of brown and dark hues on it as well, really really nice. And then I would have done a couple more nights between then and what happened next, which was my third Yateley 40, which came just about at the end of October. What had happened was the previous week I had actually seen this fish feeding to the swim just to the left there of me, of where I'm fishing right now, and it was a swim there I'd actually had my second 40 out of. I'd seen a group of 5 or 6 good fish feeding there, and one of them was much lighter coloured than the rest, and turns out it was this fish, and they were feeding so hard I was certain I was going to get a bite that night, but it didn't happen. I woke up in the morning, went and checked, all the bait was gone, my hook point had turned over and there was no bait on it when I reeled in. It was at that point, I didn't actually know up until that point that there was a few crayfish in the lake, and they hang around by the bridge in the shallower water where all the rocks and stuff are. So they'd done me. I'd put a bit more bait out, but the fish weren't interested. By this time it's a public park, people were walking around and they'd done the off. Turned up the following week and it was absolutely tipping it down with rain. I did want to get in that swim again because I just knew they were hanging around there. There was lots of floating weed, and that just seemed to be where they felt safe. But there was someone in there, so I managed to get to the swim to the right, literally just on the next side of the bridge. And I was really annoyed because it was so wet, but I just thought, I've really got to get everything right. So got my rods out as close to the trees as I could. As previously mentioned, no bait boat use, just a couple of casts, clipping up till I'm almost touching the tree. So I've done that, and then probably, oh god, I can't even remember the time, probably 6:30 in the morning, first light anyway in October, I've had a take, and then it's turned out to be this absolute unit. Couldn't believe it, my third Yateley 40 of the season. I was literally just overjoyed, and the one I'd seen feeding on the spot the week previously before as well hadn't actually moved a great deal, so it just shows even in late October when there's lots of heavy weed around, they sort of will hang around the same spot for extended periods of time. That look of disbelief in my eyes is just tangible. And then it became winter and fishing does very much take a back seat for myself. That being said, I did manage this absolutely cracking winterised common. Lovely, lovely way to sort of end my time on Swan Valley.